Weathering the factor. Our weather's changing. It's changing all over the planet. Some areas are getting hotter and not getting rain as soon as they used to do. Well, if you change the weather patterns, you change a lot of stuff. The weather patterns across the United States, high heat all the time, that's drying out forests. It's drying out wheat fields. Well, yeah, our temperature goes down to 90 degrees at night from 120 during the day. Well, crops don't do very well in high heat if they're not conditioned to do that thing. The corn that's grown in Mexico, over generations of the corn being planted down there, it's more tolerated to corn being in the Midwest. And the factors are, and you're looking at a lot of the cornfields in Mexico, it has grown so hot, they're not growing. The rain's not occurring. What do the Mexican farmers do? They come to the United States, part of that, thousands are crossing into the Rio Grande to the United States. What are those? Those are farmers. By the most part, they're farmers. They can't feed their families in Mexico. They come here. It's a weathering pack around the planet. Europe is also having high heat, and they have bark beetles, and crops are failing, especially in wine country, if they don't get enough rain, and they get cool nights, and whole things are producing sugar in the grapes. Crops are failing. That cuts into a bottom line. Wheat fields are drying out. Maybe a little rain in the springtime, but during the summertime they simply dry out. Or worse, they drown. Instead of getting a half an inch, they get a half a foot. The fields become soggy, moldy, and they don't produce field. And that is we're living in a world where we add 88 million people on the usual 80 to 88 million people a year to the planet, and we can't feed them. Doesn't help with the war in Russia destroying grain storage facilities in the Ukraine, purposely targeting every building destroyed in Ukraine has been targeted. That GPS location has been targeted. So when Russia blows up a grain silo, that grain silo was targeted. It was not an accident. But around the world, in Yemen, there was some guy was saying, how am I going to feed my 27 children? What? And recently on PBS showed families in Afghanistan, where some woman said, how can I feed my 11 children if I can't get the food? That thing. Well, you're not getting food for one day, you're getting food every day. Well, you guys have to give more money for us to get food. The problem is, like India used to export rice. They don't export rice anymore. China doesn't. It used to be we can get it from China. China doesn't do that. China needs 1.5 billion pounds of food a day. Sorry, Chinese come first. In the United States, the price of everything is going up. What? Because of the weather. If it's too wet in one location, you don't plant. If it's too dry in one location, you don't plant. You plant, it blows away. It dies in the field. Oh, it's a nice spring, but summer's 120 degrees. It's going to dry up everything, including leaves on trees. And the factor is the factor is. And I know the Republicans don't have a solution for anything, And they don't believe that man is capable of doing anything. Oh, well, ask them who built the pyramids. God did. Little men from Mars did, but not man. I guess they've never been to Greece or Rome, have they?